Beloved, you are a beautiful expression of life. Within you lies a powerful light, a divine intelligence, and an infinite well of peace. But just like our bodies need cleansing, so too does our mind. Today, let us step into a sacred space together, a place where stillness becomes your healer and where your mind is lovingly renewed. This is your moment to release the noise, to quiet the chaos, and to allow healing energy to rise within you. That your thoughts create your inner environment in the same way the sun nourishes the earth. Every thought you think is like a seed. When you plant seeds of peace, hope, and love, they grow into experiences that reflect those beautiful states of mind. When you plant seeds of fear, worry, or resentment, they too grow. Only they blossom into pain, chaos, and conflict. Most of us were never taught that we are gardeners of our own minds. But once we realize this truth, we begin to take responsibility for what we allow to grow inside of us. You see, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If your mind is cluttered with anxious, fearful, or judgmental thoughts, your reality will begin to mirror that same confusion and unrest. If your inner environment is peaceful, kind, and supportive, your life begins to align with that serenity. You do not need to force the world to change. You need only tend lovingly to your inner landscape. For many years, you may have absorbed beliefs from others, beliefs that told you who you were, what you deserved, or how limited your possibilities were. These beliefs may have come from childhood, from trauma, from heartbreak, or from society's conditioning. Without realizing it, you may have repeated these thoughts so often that they became the background music of your life. But just because you have thought a thought for a long time doesn't make it true. Just because someone else told you something doesn't mean you have to carry it anymore. Every moment is a chance to pause, to notice, and to gently ask, is this thought kind? Is this thought helpful? Is this thought true? If the answer is no, bless the thought and let it go. You don't need to battle with your thoughts. You can observe them, love them for what they tried to protect you from, and then choose something new. Your mind is not your enemy. It is a sacred tool. When used with awareness, it becomes your greatest ally in healing and transformation. Imagine waking up in the morning and filling your mind with thoughts like, I am enough, I am loved, I am safe. How different would your day feel? How would you speak to others? How would you treat your body? How would you walk through your world? Now imagine beginning your day with thoughts like, I'm not good enough, nothing ever works out for me, I can't handle this. Those thoughts don't just stay in your head. They influence your emotions, your decisions, and your relationships. They shape the energy you carry and the reality you create. You have the power to change the script. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the thinker of the thought. You can choose again. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing empowering, life-affirming perspectives even when things are difficult. It's about being gentle with yourself and believing in your ability to grow, to heal, and to create a better tomorrow, starting from the inside out. Healing begins the moment you choose to love yourself enough to monitor your inner dialogue. Speak to yourself with the same compassion you would offer a child or a dear friend. Remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to start over, and it's okay to rest. Fill your inner environment with kindness. When the storms of life come, and they will, you will have built a strong, safe shelter inside yourself. Affirmations are one of the simplest ways to cleanse the mind. By repeating phrases like, I trust life, I am worthy of good things, and I let go of fear, you begin to rewrite the old mental patterns. Your subconscious listens to everything you say and think. It believes what you tell it most often. So speak life into your soul. Replace criticism with compassion. Replace doubt with belief. Replace tension with trust. The mind may resist at first, especially if it is used to negativity. That's okay. Change is a process, not a race. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate small shifts. Each time you catch a negative thought and gently replace it with a loving one, you are healing. You are building a new inner environment. One where your spirit can thrive. One where peace becomes your default state instead of panic. One where you feel safe simply being you. You deserve to live in a mind that supports you, that lifts you, and that believes in you. You deserve thoughts that nourish your soul and inspire your dreams. The transformation of your life begins with the transformation of your thoughts. So tend to your mind with love, plant seeds of grace, water them daily with intention, and watch as your life blooms in harmony with your highest truth. Stillness is not emptiness, it is sacred connection. In the silence, something beautiful begins to awaken within you. When you remove the noise, the distractions, the constant movement, you are not left with nothing. You are left with everything that is real. You are left with your essence. In stillness, you come home to yourself. You remember who you truly are. Beneath the busyness, beneath the roles, beneath the expectation. So many people fear stillness because they have been taught that silence means something is missing. But that is a misunderstanding. In truth, stillness is full. It is rich. It is alive with presence. It is the space where you meet your soul, where you reconnect with the divine wisdom that has always been inside of you. It is not a void to be filled. It is a sanctuary to be honored. When you sit in stillness, you begin to hear what the world cannot say. You hear the whispers of your intuition. You hear the messages your body has been trying to send you. You hear the longings of your heart that have been buried under layers of activity and responsibility. Stillness brings these sacred truths to the surface, not to overwhelm you, but to set you free. We live in a world that constantly tells us to do more, be more, achieve more. We are surrounded by a culture that values speed, performance, and productivity. But your soul does not speak the language of hustle. Your soul speaks in whispers, in feelings, in the quiet. That is why, if you never pause, if you never listen, you might miss the most important conversations of your life, the ones between you and your higher self. Stillness is where healing happens. It is where clarity dawns. It is where you are reminded that you are never alone. There is a presence, a loving intelligence that surrounds you and lives within you. Call it spirit, call it God, call it source, or simply call it love. In the stillness, you remember this presence. You feel it, and it brings peace to your heart and light to your path. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It is about allowing everything that matters to come into view. When you are still, you are not withdrawing from life, you are returning to it more deeply. You become more aware, more present, more connected to what truly matters. You begin to see with new eyes and hear with new ears. The things that once seemed urgent lose their grip. The things that truly matter rise to the surface with gentle strength. In the quiet, you remember that you don't need to chase answers. You don't need to force solutions. You simply need to be. Answers rise in the silence. Healing flows through surrender. Wisdom comes when you stop trying to control and simply open yourself to receive. The universe does not shout. It whispers. And when you are still, you become available to the miracles that were always waiting to reach you. Many people think they need to meditate for hours or go to a mountaintop to find stillness. But the truth is, stillness is available in this very moment. You can find it in a single breath. You can find it in a walk through nature, in the quiet moments before sleep, in the pause between words. You can find it in prayer, in journaling, or simply by sitting with yourself and listening. Stillness is not about removing yourself from the world. It's about connecting to the world from a place of deeper truth. It is about being in the moment so fully that you become one with it. It is in the stillness that you feel your oneness with all of life. You realize you are not separate. You are not broken. You are whole. You are eternal. You are love. In a moment of stillness, you can let go of everything that is not yours to carry. You can release the tension from your shoulders, the worry from your brow, the judgment from your heart. You can inhale peace and exhale stress. You can allow yourself to soften, to open, to be held by the loving energy of the universe. You can come back to the present, where all your power lives. You do not have to earn stillness. You do not have to prove yourself worthy of rest. You were born with the right to return to peace. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to sit in silence. You are allowed to just be. And in that being, you become radiant, you become aligned, you become whole. Stillness is not emptiness, it is sacred connection. And the more you honor it, the more you will discover that within the quiet lies the deepest truth of all. You are enough, you are loved, and you are already home. Release the mental clutter with love, for your mind is not meant to be a storage unit for every worry, fear, doubt, or painful memory. Your mind is a sacred space, a temple of thought, a garden of creation, and like any sacred space, it deserves to be treated with care, with gentleness, and with loving awareness. Mental clutter accumulates quietly, little by little, often without us noticing. A harsh word from someone, a decision left unresolved, a fear of the future, or a regret from the past. All of it gathers in the corners of the mind until one day we feel overwhelmed, disconnected, and burdened. But you don't have to carry all that weight. You don't have to hold on to everything your mind has collected. You have the power to pause, to breathe, and to begin the process of clearing out what no longer serves you. Not with anger, not with resistance, but with love. Because love is the most powerful force for healing, and it knows how to gently release what fear has tried to hold on to. Start by noticing what thoughts you've been repeating lately. Are they loving? Are they supportive? Or are they heavy, critical, or full of worry? Be honest, but be kind with yourself. This is not about judgment. It's about awareness. You can't release what you don't recognize. Begin to listen gently to your inner voice. If it's filled with chaos or confusion, that's okay. You are not your thoughts. You are the one observing them. You are the consciousness behind them. And that means you have the power to choose a new mental environment. Mental clutter thrives in a state of unconsciousness. It piles up when we're on autopilot, reacting rather than responding, surviving rather than living. But when we return to the present moment through a breath, a pause, a prayer, we reclaim our ability to choose. We can choose to replace old worries with trust. We can choose to replace guilt with forgiveness. We can choose to replace mental noise with inner peace. Releasing mental clutter is not about forcing yourself to be positive all the time. It's about making peace with what is and lovingly letting go of what you no longer need. If you've been holding on to anger, let it speak, but don't let it stay. Acknowledge it, feel it fully, then thank it for trying to protect you and invite it to move on. If you've been replaying a painful moment over and over in your mind, know that you have the power to stop. That moment is over, you survived, now it's time to give yourself permission to heal. One of the most loving things you can do for yourself is to create space. Space in your schedule, space in your thoughts, space in your soul. A cluttered mind often comes from a cluttered life. Say no to the things that drain you. Unplug from the noise that keeps your spirit anxious. Stop carrying other people's expectations as if they are your own. Simplify where you can. Return to the essentials: peace, love, presence, truth. So sometimes writing things down can be a beautiful act of release. Grab a journal and let your thoughts flow onto the page. You may be surprised by how much mental noise you've been carrying without even realizing it. Don't censor yourself. Don't try to make it perfect. Just let it pour out. Then when you're done, read it with compassion. Recognize what needs to stay and what needs to go. Release the rest. You are not your fears. You are not your mistakes. You are not the noise. You are the calm beneath it all. Affirmations can also help sweep away the mental clutter and replace it with peace. Repeat to yourself, I release what no longer serves me. I am safe to let go. I am creating space for peace and joy. These aren't just words. They are new seeds for your inner garden. The more you water them, the more they grow. Mental clutter often includes old stories we tell ourselves. I'm not good enough. I'll never change. I always mess things up. But those are just stories, and you are the author. You can write new ones. You can tell yourself, I am evolving, I am worthy, I am doing the best I can. Speak to yourself with the same tenderness you would give a beloved child. You are not here to carry everything. You are here to feel light, free, and connected. Let go, not with force, but with faith. Let go, not because you are giving up, but because you are choosing peace. Let go, not because it doesn't matter, but because you matter. When you release the mental clutter with love, you make space for joy, you make space for clarity, you make space for miracles. And the beautiful truth is, the more you clear out, the more your true self can shine through. Beneath all that noise, there is peace. Beneath all that fear, there is love. Beneath all that clutter, there is you, radiant, powerful, and free. You deserve a calm and peaceful life, not just in fleeting moments or temporary escapes, but as your natural state of being. Peace is not something you earn through struggle. It is your birthright. It is the deep, quiet presence that lives within you, waiting for you to come home to it. So often we are taught to associate our worth with how busy we are, how much we produce, or how well we keep up with the chaos around us. But beneath the noise of the world, there is another rhythm, a slower, softer one. It is the rhythm of your soul. And it speaks not through pressure, but through presence, not through stress, but through stillness. You don't have to run to find it. You only need to stop, breathe, and remember. Peace begins when you give yourself permission to rest. It begins when you stop apologizing for needing quiet. It begins when you realize that calm is not weakness, it is strength. The ability to sit with yourself, to listen to your heart, and to respond to life with gentleness is a profound act of courage. You don't need to be in control of everything to feel safe. You don't need to have all the answers to be at ease. You simply need to reconnect with the truth that you are always supported by something greater than your worries. Peaceful life doesn't mean that nothing ever goes wrong. It means that when things do go wrong, you respond with grace instead of panic. It means that you don't let outside circumstances define your inner world. It means cultivating a space within you that no storm can shake. That space already exists. It's just been buried under layers of tension, fear, and overthinking. You can begin to reclaim that space today. Start by noticing what brings tension into your life. Is it certain people, environments, or habits? Begin to lovingly set boundaries that protect your peace. You are not responsible for carrying the emotional weight of the world. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to walk away from what disturbs your spirit. It is not selfish to prioritize peace. It is sacred. A calm mind allows you to hear your intuition. A peaceful heart allows you to give love more freely. When you live in a state of inner harmony, you naturally extend that harmony into your relationships, your work, and your choices. You become a source of light for others simply by being grounded in your own truth. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to slow down. Breathe deeply, take a walk, watch the sky, sit with a warm cup of tea and do absolutely nothing. These moments are not a waste of time. They are how you reset. They are how you refill your inner well. And from that well, you draw the strength and clarity you need to navigate life with purpose and peace. Let go of the belief that peace must be earned. Let go of the belief that you need to fix everything before you can feel calm. Right here in this moment, you can breathe in serenity and breathe out tension. You can soften your shoulders, quiet your thoughts, and choose to be present. You are not your to-do list. You are not your worries. You are a radiant being of love and light, and you are safe to rest. Affirm to yourself, I deserve peace. I allow peace into my body, my mind, and my life. I release chaos. I embrace calm. I am aligned with the rhythm of ease and grace. These simple declarations begin to rewire your inner world. They remind you that you are not trapped in anxiety. You are simply unlearning it. You are remembering who you truly are, peaceful, powerful, and whole. Your past does not define your ability to live a calm life. No matter what has happened, you can choose a new direction. You can choose to heal. You can choose to create routines that nourish your nervous system. You can choose to surround yourself with people and practices that uplift your spirit. You can choose to honor the quiet parts of your soul that are tired of noise and long for tenderness. Peace is not a faraway destination. It is within you, waiting for you to pause long enough to feel it. Let your life be a reflection of that peace. Let your words be gentle, your actions be intentional, and your heart be open. You don't have to rush. You don't have to prove. You don't have to strive for something that is already yours. You deserve a calm and peaceful life. Not someday, not when everything is perfect, but now. Begin today with one breath, one loving thought, one small act of softness. Let peace guide you home. What you focus on expands. It is a simple yet profound truth that shapes the entire landscape of your life. Wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. Whatever you dwell on, whether in love or fear, joy or anxiety, grows stronger in your experience. You are not just observing your reality, you are constantly participating in its creation through the thoughts you entertain and the feelings you nurture. When you focus on problems, your mind becomes a magnet for more problems. You begin to see obstacles in every direction. Small inconveniences feel like heavy burdens. Every delay becomes a disaster. But the moment you shift your focus, even slightly, to possibilities, your entire world begins to change. The same circumstances can look entirely different when viewed through the lens of faith, hope, and personal power. Your focus is like the sun. It can either burn or it can grow. Focus on lack and you will feel empty. Focus on gratitude and you will feel full. Focus on what's going wrong and your stress multiplies. Focus on what's going right and your peace expands. Life meets you at the level of your expectations, and those expectations are rooted in your daily attention. It's not about denying reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to place your mental energy. Yes, there may be difficulties, but you can choose to give your focus to solutions, to growth, to learning. You can choose to notice the progress, even if it's small. You can choose to honor your strength, your effort, and your willingness to rise again. When you do, those choices begin to build momentum. Focus creates momentum. Think of your thoughts like a snowball. What starts small can roll into something massive simply by continuing to move in the same direction. A single anxious thought, if left unchecked, can lead to a spiral of worry and dread. But a single loving thought can just as easily create a spiral of inspiration, healing, and clarity. Every thought you think is a seed. What kind of garden are you planting with your focus? So many people walk through life believing that they are victims of circumstance. But the truth is, most suffering begins in the mind. It begins when we focus more on fear than faith, more on the past than the present, more on what we can't control than what we can. And the miracle is this: at any moment you can choose again. You can redirect your focus towards something more loving, more peaceful, more aligned with who you want to become. This doesn't mean you ignore the challenges. It means you don't let them define you. It means that when pain arises, you meet it with compassion instead of despair. When setbacks occur, you see them as stepping stones instead of dead ends. When uncertainty visits, you anchor yourself in the now, knowing that clarity will come. These are choices, daily, sometimes moment-to-moment choices, that determine the quality of your experience. One of the most powerful ways to shift your focus is through gratitude. When you take a moment to focus on what is good, what is working, what is beautiful, even in the middle of a storm, you begin to rewire your entire emotional state. Gratitude softens the hard edges of life. It reminds you that you are not alone. It shows you that even in difficult seasons, there is still light. Another way to refocus is to ask yourself better questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of, what do I lack? Ask, what do I already have that can support me right now? Your mind is a powerful servant, and it will search for answers to whatever questions you give it. Make sure your questions lead to empowerment, not despair. You are more powerful than you realize. You are not just reacting to life. You are shaping it with your awareness. If you want more peace, focus on peace. If you want more love, focus on being loving. If you want more abundance, focus on what you already have and what you can give. The universe mirrors your dominant vibration. It doesn't give you what you beg for. It gives you what you align with. So choose today to become mindful of your focus. Notice where your thoughts go when you wake up. Notice where they linger when you're tired. Notice what patterns repeat. And ask yourself, are these thoughts building the life I want? If not, you have the power to shift. Redirect your attention toward beauty, toward joy, toward healing, and toward purpose. Let your inner focus reflect the kind of life you want to live. Because what you focus on expands, and you deserve a life filled with light. Transformation begins in the quiet moments. It doesn't always arrive with grand gestures or loud declarations. More often, it begins in the silence, when the world slows down and you are alone with your own thoughts. These are the moments when something within you begins to soften, to open, to awaken. It is in this stillness that your spirit whispers, guiding you gently back to your true self. So many people search for change in the outer world. They try to rearrange their lives, fix others, or chase achievements, thinking that transformation will come from something external. But real, lasting transformation is an inward journey. It blooms in the space where you let go of the noise and reconnect with the sacred part of you that has never been broken. It is in the quiet that you begin to hear the truth. You start to notice the patterns that no longer serve you. You see the thoughts you've been repeating and the stories you've been telling yourself. Without judgment, you begin to understand how you've been carrying pain, fear, or self-doubt. And that awareness, that sacred seeing, is the first step toward healing. In the stillness, you remember your power, not the kind of power that controls or forces, but the gentle, steady strength that lives inside you, the kind of power that comes from choosing love over fear, peace over panic, and truth over illusion. This is the power that arises when you decide to stop running from yourself and instead sit quietly with who you are. There is nothing to fear in the silence. It is not empty. It is full of wisdom, full of clarity, full of answers you cannot hear when you are rushing, scrolling, fixing, or distracting yourself. Stillness is the space where your soul breathes, where your heart can exhale, and where your mind can reset. Transformation doesn't ask you to be perfect. It only asks you to be present, one quiet moment at a time, one deep breath, one choice to respond with compassion instead of anger, one decision to rest instead of push. These small moments are where your new life begins, not in the future, but right here. The quiet teaches you to be patient with yourself. Growth is not always linear. Some days you bloom, some days you break. But even the breaking is part of the becoming. Even when it feels like nothing is changing, the quiet is working its way through you, softening old wounds, releasing buried emotions, and planting seeds of wisdom and love. Every time you sit in stillness and choose to feel instead of numb, you reclaim a piece of yourself. Every time you close your eyes and listen within, you strengthen your connection to the divine truth that you are enough just as you are, that nothing needs to be added to you, that the healing you seek already lives inside you, waiting to be remembered. Let yourself slow down. Let yourself be still. Turn off the noise, even if just for a few moments. Let the quiet wrap around you like a warm blanket in this sacred space. Your nervous system calms. Your heart softens. Your spirit. Don't underestimate the power of these moments. They are not wasted. They are where your life begins to change, where your energy realigns, where your vision clears. In the quiet, you begin to feel what truly matters, and you gently begin to release what doesn't. Transformation is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to yourself, to your essence, to your truth. It is about shedding the masks, letting go of the pressure, and remembering that you are already whole, that peace is your natural state, that joy is your birthright. The more you honor the quiet, the more you find peace in the present. You stop needing life to be different to feel content. You begin to trust the timing, the flow, and the divine unfolding of your journey. You stop chasing and start allowing. You stop fighting and start accepting. Let the quiet be your teacher. Let it hold you while you heal. Let it guide you gently into a new way of being, one rooted in love, grounded in truth, and open to miracles. You don't need to rush. You don't need to force. All you need to do is listen, breathe, and be willing to change, one quiet moment at a time.